you mentioned victim, accuser, martyr, and I want to tear into that a little bit because that sounds like there's somewhere, I guess, quote unquote, fun we can go with that. I want to tear that up a little bit.
So it goes back to the ownership conversation and the mask we wear. A lot of what I do is based in the mythopoetic tradition, which is a lot of like Robert Blake, it's Robert Moore, it's the king, warrior, magician, lover, Jungian archetypes and all that kind of stuff. And I just love movies. I'm a screenwriter and I love the story. And I think there's just so much encapsulated in these microcosms of story that we can learn and apply to our life. And those are three of the masks. And there's the hero, which is what we want to. And if we're not being the hero of our story, we're being the accuser, the victim, or the martyr. And the victim, pretty self-explanatory, helpless. You know, nothing's my fault. And there's nothing I can do to change my circumstance. The world has done this to me. And that's going to keep you stuck, but safe. You can be safe in misery, which sounds weird, but the victim is very comfortable in the security that is their misery. And to convince yourself you have no way to change it keeps you there, keeps you safe. So as long as you wear that mask, you're not going to change and your life is going to be the same. So you get your security, you get a little variety because some of the pain you experience might shift from day to day, but you're still secure that you're going to get it. Then you feel significant because when you feel pain and victimized, people go, oh, you poor thing. And we need to help you. And there's plenty that will rally to it. So you get three of your basic human needs met and probably more. And as long as you have three of those human needs met, you can have an addiction to it. And so we get addicted to this. We don't realize we're doing it, but that's what we do. The accuser is the active version of the victim. The accuser is someone who it's not their fault, but it's your fault. You're the reason. The victim is, I just can't do anything about it because everyone's against me and I don't know what to do. The accuser is like, it's because of the establishment. It's because of religion. It's because of society. It's the billionaires. If I didn't have this, then I would be this and you're holding me down. And it's the active version, which gives you the illusion of significance. It gives you the illusion of power that you're doing everything, but you're really doing nothing because all you're doing is making the adversary so big, you can never overcome it. If you believe the enemy is big pharma and that's the only reason that you can never do what you want to do in your life, you'll make no movement on it and you'll feel okay about it because, hey, the monster was too big. So what was I going to do? I gave it my best shot and I fought. Damn it. No, the martyr is the holiest of the masks we can wear because it looks like we're sacrificing ourselves. We're serving everybody else. So we must be good. We're saving people. The problem is you're not saving yourself in any kind of way. And that looks honorable. But what you're doing is avoiding looking at the pain in your life because you don't want to address it. My dad played the martyr a lot of times. He went and served everybody else. He served his mother. He served his sister. You know, my dogs, when they were dying, he would carry them around the house and he would, put hydrogen peroxide in the wounds. And he was a caregiver. At his core, his fundamental core was caregiver, which becomes a martyr when you're doing it to avoid, well, this is just who I am, damn it. And a martyr is pain. That they feel pain, but they've convinced themselves that as long as I do these things, I don't have to deal with the true pain, which is the trauma I've experienced, the blocks in my life that I could remove if I was willing to look in the darkness. So instead of doing that, I'm just going to serve, always be too tired, too strung out to do anything for myself, and I'll sleep convinced that I'm honorable when I'm not, because the hero still serves. But they face resistance, they face discomfort, they lean into those things, and they keep going. They keep trying, they keep hoping for better, and when they do it well, they say, what else is out there to do? And there's service in that. Service and growth are the two highest human needs that we have. So you can see when you're looking like you're serving, that's a need of the spirit, not a physical need, but a need of the spirit. So you're hitting it. So that's the most intoxicating, almost one of all of them. And it's sad because it does look good, but that caregiver needs an outlet for self as well. So those are the three basic masks. There's more archetypes and stuff, but those are the first three that we need to look at. Hey, how are you operating? Oh, I was an accuser today because I'm not addressing why I feel the way I feel. I'm just blaming Steve for making me pissed off because he sucks. No, it takes more than one person to make this world go around. Yeah. My modern myth is not going to heal everyone in the world. So it's just
Yeah.
ways to not deal with the reality of change in us.
Awesome. So I want to go down now into your businesses a bit. There are probably 40 other trails we could go down based off what we've already talked about. But let's go into your business a little bit. You have My Modern Myth and Project Echelon. I think you said that My Modern Myth is your coaching side of the house. But tell me a little bit more about. Let's go into depth about both of those, and then let's go into depth about those.
Yeah. So Project Echelon I didn't mention, but the whole thing about that is in 2014 we started as a buddy veteran and civilian. I was, like I had said, on that suicidal path, and that was when I promised my wife I would change my life, and so I started to, and got into triathlon because that was something I was always curious about. And I was like, I can't go in the military, but I always want to. As we talked about, it's that identity thing. So I can't go in the military. So what do I like about it? What do I miss? Because I don't really miss the military. I don't miss 4 o'clock formations and all the random raking of rocks and whatever, patrolling cigarette butts. But I miss the physicality. I miss the challenge. I miss the clear task, clear goal, clear win. And so, well, what can I do? I can get into fitness. I'm not really happy with what's happening with my body anyway. And so I started to do triathlon, but I didn't know anything about it. And my wife's high school friend, her husband is a professional cyclist. So my wife's like, hey, give Eric a call and see if he can help you. And so he absolutely did. He loves veterans. His sister is an Apache pilot, so very connected to the military. And so he helped me get ready for my first sprint triathlon. And I always like to tell the story. His first call with me was, all right, so how long have you been running? It's been 13 years. Okay, it's a bit of time, but you can swim. No, I've never actually swam more than like a doggy paddle or kind of floating around in the water. Okay. What bike are you riding? I don't have a bike. And then he goes, we're off to a really great start. So that was the start of it. Is he helped me find a bike. He helped me get some training plans. He gave me direction, completed it. Felt really great because on that path, I learned things about myself through sport. And that became the next evolution of my thinking of mind-body story and saying, holy crap, like I start realizing I quit when I run up this hill at 90% of the way up. Why? Because it's just 10% more and I just don't have what it takes to go that extra 10%. And I'm like, well, wonder if I do that in life too, because I felt like I was a quitter. And then I realized it was the last 10% is when I quit everything. And it's the tedium. It's the finishing touches. I want to go into the next big thing, the next big adventure. And so I was like, dang, okay, what if I finish up this hill? Then I did. I finished going up that hill. And I was like, okay, well, if I can finish it on a run, then I bet I can finish it on this college report or whatever I'm doing. And sure enough, I could. And so fitness became this tool to see where my deficiencies lied in life, because how we do one thing, we do all things, that whole idea. And so I started to refine myself, and Eric saw that and he said, hey, that worked pretty good for you, huh? I was like, yeah, it did. Hey, would you like to start a nonprofit? I said, absolutely. Let's help veterans do this too. And so Project Echelon, we set out to help people educate, equip, and empower them, veterans, through physical activity, endurance sport, and self-discovery. And so now we've been at it for, what would that be, a decade now? Nice. And have helped hundreds and hundreds of veterans. Our team is now international, and it's been amazing. And it's one of those things that I've had to learn about myself as a visionary versus an integrator. Eric Hill he's the executive director. And as he said, I'm the angel on his shoulder that tells him, what would Eric do in this situation? What would I do in this situation? Because I give him that spirit, he says. I give him the passion, and I had to accept that my role wasn't a day-to-day guy in this arena. It was, let me inspire the day-to-day guys. Let me give them the mission and the values, and then empower them with it to go. It was the acceptance of who I am and how I serve this organization, and to stop being everything to everyone. Because in my film career, I tried to do it all. I was the editor, the graphic designer, the filmmaker, the DP, the actor. I tried to do everything, and it was hard. People called me a virtuoso, but I was miserable. But I appreciated the compliment, so I chased it. But that has grown, and partly that was hard for me because I wasn't an elite athlete and I wasn't as involved as I felt like I needed to be.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I realized it was just, dude, you got to accept your role in this. And you have to get the evidence that shows how valued you are. Bro, you're not an accountant. You don't know numbers. You get into the board meetings and they start pulling up the financial sheets and I'm like, oh my God, what is any of this? I don't understand. Let me talk about feelings and inspiration and motivation and the grand vision of where we can go and how we can get there, you know? And so that's wonderful.